Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahay. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 68 to 72 of chapter 2. Tasmadhyasya mahabaho,
Tasmadhyasya mahabaho,
nigrihitani sarvashah,
nigrihitani sarvashah,
indriyanindriyarthebhyah,
indriyanindriyarthebhyah,
tasya prajna pratisthita,
tasya prajna pratisthita,
ya nisha sarvabhutanam,
ya nisha sarvabhutanam,
tasyam jagati sanyami,
tasyam jagarti sanyami,
yasyam jagrati bhutani,
yasyam jagrati bhutani,
sa nisha pashyato muneः,
sa nisha pashyato muneः,
आपूर्यमाणमचल प्रतिष्ठम्,
आपूर्यमाणमचलप्रतिष्ठम्,
समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्वत्,
समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्वत्,
तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे,
तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे,
स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी,
स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी,
विहाय कामान् यः सर्वान्,
विहाय कामान्यः सर्वान्,
Pumanscharati nisprihah.
Pumanscharati nisprihah.
Nirmamo nirahankarah.
Nirmamo nirahankarah.
Sashantimadhigacchati.
Sashantimadhigacchati.
Esha brahmi sthiti partha.
Esha brahmi sthiti partha.
Nainam prapya vimuhyati.
Nainam prapya vimuhyati.
Stitva syamantakaalepi.
Stitva syamantakaalepi.
Brahma nirvana mrichati.
Brahma nirvana mrichati.
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So we have been seeing the deeper messages from verse number 72, where he says, this is the state of Brahman. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha. O Partha, Arjuna, having attained this, none is deluded. So the moment he says, having attained this, none is deluded, it means it is possible for anyone to attain it. So you have to always see the implication of these statements. Whenever a master declares something, it always has a lot of positive implications. It is not only when a master gives out something, everything which we say has an effect, has an implication. Sometimes the implication may be direct, sometimes the implication may be indirect. That is why it is very important for you to master your speech. You should be careful about what you speak to others, because everything which you say has an impact. It may be less, it may be more. That depends on what is your level of prana Shakti, what is the depth of your bhavana and all that. But definitely, everything which you utter, everything which you say has an effect, has an implication. So we should ensure through sadhana, we should gain mastery over ourselves and ensure that our speech, whatever we say, whatever words which we use, whatever statements we make, always have long-term positive effects on ourselves and others. Especially when the other person has an open aura, like if you take a baby or a child. Now the child's aura is very open. Whatever you throw into it, it just absorbs. As the individuality of the child starts manifesting, then only the process of filtering starts happening. So when the aura is open for a person, as parents, that is, even if we take this example of a child, as parents, one should be very careful. Seemingly innocuous statements can have very serious negative implications later on. It may be some statement which you make comparing the child with his or her friend, or it may be praising another child with the bhavana of pointing out some mistake. See, when it comes to these kinds of things, you need to be very careful. So as far as this ancient wisdom is concerned, in this yogic path, the path of self-development, self-purification, we go on putting efforts to purify ourselves. And one aspect of ourself is the speech. So we go on refining our speech in terms of expression and in terms of the intention, bhavana also. See, mistakes are possible. That is, as it is said, to err is human. But a yogi is one who keeps on learning from the mistakes and he keeps purifying himself. So, the more you purify yourself, the more positive implications or effects will your speech have. When your mind is in an impure state, your speech will have a negative implication. So one thing is what you say verbally, another thing is when you read between the lines, that creates a certain effect. So when you take these scriptures, what the great masters have given, everything which they utter has a very powerful implication on the person who receives that. And that implication is always a spiritual one, because a master's intention is upliftment of a student. A true master's goal, if at all he has one, is only that the student should expand, the student should get purified and merge with that supreme consciousness. That being the bhavana, everything which a master says will have the long-term implication of spiritual growth. Sometimes the master may talk in a kind way. Sometimes a master may be very stern. It's not that actually he is angry. No, a true master will never get angry from within, because what is there to get angry about? But sometimes he may use anger as a tool. Now that also will have a positive implication on the student in the long run. Many times when students go to a true master and surrenders, the master finds that there are a lot of impurities. Sometimes he may use stern methods, harsh words to knock off a particular segment of the student's ego. The student may not be able to realize it at that time. Naturally, the ego will feel hurt. But if the student has true surrender, if he understands the value of the master and continues in the journey consistently, he will be able to reap the positive implications of whatever the master said or whatever treatment the master gave. In the Puranas, there are so many examples. You must have read in the Puranic stories, sometimes the rishis, the saints, curse someone. When the other person makes a mistake, immediately the rishi curses. Now this question may come to your mind, why would a rishi curse? being a great saint, how can he get to curse? He is not cursing actually. Even the so-called curse is only a blessing. See, when depending on what kind of mistake the person makes, that person has to face the karmic consequences. So sometimes the Guru says something in a stern way to reduce the negative effects of the karmas, so that the person finishes off that karmic cycle faster. But from an external point of view, it will look as if the Rishi has got angry and he has cursed the other person. It is not true. So here we find the implication of these statements are extremely uplifting spiritually, provided you use the yogic approach, you are completely receptive and you catch all these messages. So he says, having attained this, none is deluded. He is putting it in a general way. So the moment he says, when anyone attains it, that person will get rid of all the delusion. The implication is the possibility as a human being, everyone has this opportunity to realize the Supreme Self and become a Sthita Prajna. And when he's talking of everyone, you need to narrow it down to yourself. You have the capacity, you have the opportunity to become one with the infinite. The moment you have taken this human birth, you have the opportunity. And as a human being, you also have the capacity. So your capacity is actually infinite. Today, you may feel a little restricted because of the various impurities and various limitations. But as you begin to do sadhana, your inherent capacity to unfold the infinite will start manifesting. It is not that the sadhana will bring something new from outside. It is all there within you that will start unfolding. So this is the state of Brahman. Having attained this, none is deluded. Having got established in this, even at the end of life, antakale, one attains the ultimate liberation of Brahman. Brahma Nirvanam richati. So last week I was explaining to you about antakale. If you literally take it, it's the end of this life. So even at the end of life, you can clinch it. Meaning, age is not a factor. But the yogic deeper message was also given to you. That is, antakale, actually, if you go deep into it, it means this moment, the present moment which is there with you. See, the very nature of time is very interesting. Time keeps on moving. You cannot reverse it. It is a one-way journey. So every second keeps dying. The nature of time itself is death only. Now, if you use the time properly, it can aid you in a positive way. If you use the time negatively, it can actually pull you down. It all depends on you. So from a very deep philosophical sense, antakale means this moment, because this moment, as I told you, the very nature of time is it keeps on dying every moment by moment, the moment goes away. That second goes away. And then the next second comes, again that goes away. So the very nature of time is to keep dying, and it is through the series of deaths, as it were. I'm putting it in quotes. It's in a series of deaths that growth happens if you use it properly. Every moment is going to go away. This present moment which we are enjoying is going to go away. Once you realize that, then this moment becomes the end all of your life. And if you live your life fully in a complete way at this moment, then when that goes away, the effect of what you have done will stay with you. I told you, every statement has an implication. Every action, everything which you do, every thought, every emotion which you generate has an implication first on yourself and on others. So, how will your life shape up tomorrow? It depends on how you live your today. How will your life shape up the next moment? It depends on how you use this present moment. Antakale. So from a yogic perspective, it's a very, very deep sadhana. And that sadhana is to stay focused in the present and put in all your efforts, given your best in this present moment. For a person who practices this, his or her future will be secure. See, all the time your mind is worried and anxious about the future. If not your future, your children's future. Oh, what will happen? What will happen? Now, you don't need to really worry about what will happen in the future. A yogi has no such anxieties. Why? Because he knows that this present moment is only going to define the next moment. So, whatever is within his purview, whatever is within his control is this present moment. How well am I utilizing my present moment of time? This is what you need to ask yourself on a daily basis. The more advanced practices on a moment-to-moment basis, if you are able to keep this awareness and focus, nobody can stop you from growing. Nobody can stop you from achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. So Antakale, the sadhana of Antakale is very, very powerful when you take the deeper message. Now, even if you take the Antakale literally as the end of this birth, that is when a person dies, there is again an implied statement there. See, in one of the later chapters, Krishna says that whatever your last thought is, that will determine what will be your next birth. Now, one person told me, Sir, Krishna himself says the last thought before a person dies only matters. So why should I waste my time thinking of God now? Why should I do all the sadhana and all that? Just before I die, I will think of God, then I will become one with God. Very simple. It looks very simple when you put it like that. But actually, is it practically possible? See, in life, whenever you face a challenge, what thought comes to your mind? I'm not talking of death, even any other problem. It all depends on whatever thoughts you have encouraged for many years. If all the time you're thinking negatively, when a difficulty comes, when a challenge comes in front of you, immediately the mind will generate negative thoughts only. when everything is fine, if you are not able to generate a positive thought, when something goes wrong, when you're facing a challenge, how will a positive thought suddenly come? So every moment, especially when a challenge confronts us, the thought which naturally comes, the reaction which naturally comes within our minds is a resultant of the various thoughts and emotions which you have encouraged all along. Now, when we talk of physical death for an ordinary person, the physical death is the greatest challenge. So when that time comes, what will be the reaction, internal reaction? It will be a resultant of all the thoughts, emotions and actions which you have done throughout your life. If throughout your life you have been thinking about, let's say, money alone as an end in itself, acquiring money is not wrong. But if you think money is your ultimate goal, now at the time of death, what thought will come to you? It will only be the thought of money. If all the time, that is throughout your life, you have been generating negative thoughts about someone, at the time of death, what thought do you think will come to you? It will be the negative thought about that person only. So when you face a challenge, the natural reaction, the reactive thought which gets generated within your mind is always a resultant of whatever efforts you have put in earlier. So when Krishna says the last thought will determine your birth, again you have to go deep. The implication is you have to lead a proper life. Only then the last thought will give you a positive birth, the positive life in the next birth. It's the same thing. When he says you can get established even at the last moment, at the end of time. Now you cannot say, yes, even at the end of life I can always become a Sthita Prajna. Now why should I do all the sadhana now? I'll see it at the end of life. At the end of life means it's a very big challenge. Unless you are an advanced yogi, the physical death is the biggest challenge which everyone faces. Even the thought of that creates so much of fear. So when the thought of death can create so much of fear, imagine when the actual death time comes, how much more the fear will be. So when he says antakale, from a relative sense, it means right now, from right now itself, you should start putting an effort. Only then, at the end of life, your mind will turn towards the higher. So if you misunderstand this, you will utilize it to fan your tamas, the laziness within you, and you will postpone. I will see it at the end of my life. But no. When you're facing a crisis, when you're facing the greatest challenge of your life, which is death, what can help you? It is this wisdom alone. Whatever sadhana which you have done throughout your life alone will come and help you whenever you face any crisis. It's not only death, any other challenge you're facing. If you keep doing your sadhana on a daily basis, if you keep getting established in the higher, whenever you face challenges in life, the sadhana, the effect of the sadhana will come and help you. It will give you that inner strength to face the challenges. It will help the mind to generate positive thoughts, higher thoughts, whenever something goes wrong outside. So having got established in this, even at the end of life, as far as you are concerned as a sadhak, right now, you can just strike off even at the end of life, and you can put it as right now. then it becomes a very powerful sadhana for you. So having got established in this right now, the moment we say that, now you become very alert. At the end of life means you're just listening like a story, listening to it. Okay, I'll see it later. But right now means you immediately become alert. You start putting in all the efforts. So having got established in this right now, one attains the ultimate liberation of Brahman. So Brahman is that supreme reality. So Brahma Nirvana. So Nirvana means final liberation, breaking free, total freedom, going beyond all limitations. That state, that supreme state is right within your reach. What is the tool which has been given to you? This present moment. If you use your present moment productively to elevate yourself, then you can attain the ultimate liberation. If you waste your present moment, then you're wasting the opportunity. Moment by moment. See, because even the future, when it comes to you as the present moment only. And that is why these great masters are saying, don't worry about the future. Sometimes when you're attending all these sessions, when we are receiving these higher messages about Sthita Prajna, the ultimate state of Brahman and all that, this anxiety may come to your mind. Oh, when will I become a Sthita Prajna? When will I attain self-realization? Even that anxiety is a block only. How do you remove that? By simply understanding that there is one tool which is being given to you by nature. And if you utilize that tool properly, you're going to progress. If you don't utilize that tool properly, you're going to waste the opportunity. And what is that tool? That is time. And even in that time, you have the past, you have the present, you have the future. Which aspect of the time has been given to you? It is the present. So, moment by moment, live your life productively. Live your life fully. Don't waste this golden opportunity which has been given to you. That is the human birth. And having attained this human birth, out of millions and millions of people, you have got this opportunity to receive the energy, the higher energy through the yogic approach, which is a secret of the Himalayan masters, this yogic approach that is being revealed to you. So how much more is the possibility of you unfolding yourself? It increases by a million times. So what do you need to do? Just focus on the present moment and give your best. Whatever it is that you're doing, do it in a sadhana way, moment by moment, day by day. Live your life purposefully. Then you will have to progress spiritually. That is what he means by having got established in that. It doesn't happen at one go. Moment by moment, when you keep applying these principles on a daily basis, when you do the Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana, every Sunday you're receiving all these things, when you keep doing, then slowly, gradually you will get established in this. And as you get established in this, you will start becoming free. That Brahma Nirvana will start happening to you. You will start experiencing more freedom. Freedom from your own mind. Freedom from your moods. Freedom from all limitations. The infinite powers within you will start manifesting. That is Brahma Nirvana. 100% is that supreme state, but even relatively it is applicable. To the extent you got established in this wisdom, to that extent you will experience the freedom. Now, I will give you a few more dimensions of Nirvana, even from a relative sense, so that it helps you in your sadhana. So Nirvana, no doubt, means the final liberation, the total freedom. This is from the ultimate standpoint. Now, you have different aspects of your personality. So in each aspect, Nirvana means something. We will see that. It will be very useful to you because you can you can see which aspect of you is limiting you more, and you can focus your sadhana on that aspect to enhance your self-purification. It's like cleaning an object, Now, one is to do a general cleaning, but other is to specifically see which are the areas where the dirt is more, and you focus a little more on that. That way you can clean the object in a better way. It's the same rule when it comes to self-purification also. So Nirvana also means extinction, death. It means dissolution. One dimension of Nirvana means complete death or dissolution. Now, what does it mean? If you look at it from the level of your ego, Nirvana means destruction or dissolution of your ego. This is a very, very important pointer. See, how do you know that a person has attained Brahma Nirvana, the state of Nirvana? It is directly proportional to the, it's directly related to the reduction of ego. When the Nirvana happens, when the liberation happens, the ego gets completely dissolved. A Sthita Prajna has no ego whatsoever, no superiority complex, no inferiority complex also. See, inferiority complex is also ego because the focus is on I. So as a sadhak, am I going on the right path or not? How will you find out? How much of ego is there? As you progress in the path, the ego will get dissolved. The ego will start dying. And when the ego dies within you, the spirituality will be born, true spirituality. The higher energy will start manifesting. So this is a very good pointer you can use to determine whether you are progressing in the right path, whether you're progressing spiritually or not. 1 year back, what was the level of your ego? Now you've been doing sadhana for 1 year. What is the level of your ego? That determines whether you're progressing or not. In case you find that no, the ego boost is there, then you need to fine-tune your sadhana. You need to focus on that area depending on how the ego is manifesting. Supposing the ego is manifesting as superiority complex, then you need to practice humility. Supposing the ego is manifesting as inferiority complex, then you need to practice self-confidence. so that you come to the center. The center is a state of infinite, and that is a state where the ego has been completely dissolved. So a master has no ego whatsoever. According to the situation, he'll keep on changing. If the situation demands that he is very soft, he'll be soft. If the situation demands that he needs to be stern, he will be stern. If the situation demands that he speaks, he'll speak. If the situation demands that he keeps quiet, he will just maintain silence. He will just go and play his role according to the situation. He will never bring his ego into any situation. The more your ego, the less influence you will have over your circumstances. The lesser your ego, you will be able to do whatever is required for in that particular context. So your effectiveness will be more. So this is a very powerful pointer through which you can find out. And as far as sadhana is concerned, from the ego level, sadhana is removing your ego. And you will find that you will keep slipping from inferiority to superiority all the time. So whenever that happens, pull yourself back and put yourself in the center. And when you get 100% established in the center, that is what he calls as Brahma Nirvana. So even relatively, you can practice this. So Nirvana means extinction, death or dissolution. This is one dimension at the level of the ego. Now, another dimension of Nirvana. Nirvana means perfect calmness, quietude, repose. You're just you're in a state of tranquility. This is at the mental level. What is Nirvana at the mental level? At the mental level, whenever you lose your calmness, you're moving away from Nirvana, from the state of Nirvana. See, when you attain Brahma Nirvana, that 100% state of enlightenment, perfection, then it will automatically start manifesting in these areas in these ways. At the ego level, it will be no ego. At the mental level, it will be total calmness. But now as a sadhak, you can check how much of calmness your mind is having. As you begin to do your sadhana, your base level of calmness will have to increase. Give yourself a reasonable amount of time. Don't do sadhana for one day and then immediately check your mind. It shouldn't be like that. Give yourself a few months, a few years, and then when you see your mind would have calmed down. The more agitations your mind has, it binds you. It doesn't give you that freedom. See, why do people go on holidays? Because you're very highly stressed and all that. Then you feel, okay, let me now, I will go from here to a quiet place. I'll go to Switzerland. But when you go to Switzerland, see, that is only a temporary freedom which you get, temporary change of place. But you are carrying the same mind. Even when you are in Switzerland, it's the same mind which you will be having. So true freedom is getting out of the clutches of your own mind. So when your mind becomes calm, that is a great freedom. Thereafter, you don't need to change places. Whether you are in Switzerland or whether you are in a crowded place, it doesn't matter. Whether you are in the Himalayas or whether you are in the room, it is always a Himalayas for you, within you. So as a sadhak, you should aspire to attain the state of nirvana at the mental level by increasing the level of your calmness. How will you increase the level of your calmness? By doing the sadhana and removing all those underlying factors, the impurities which are causing stress within you. So this is a very simple yardstick. See, all these dimensions of nirvana which I am going to give you, they all serve as yardsticks. Am I going on the right path or not? You can easily check yourself. And then individually you can take up these aspects and see which of this aspect is lacking in you more, and you can focus and do that respective sadhana. So from a practice point of view also, these dimensions will be so useful to you. So at the ego level, it means death, no ego. At the mental level, it means perfect calmness, tranquility, repose. Repose means the ability to relax. You know, the moment we start the Sunday session initially, I say gently close your eyes and do deep breathing. The moment you do that, you will find the higher Shakti, as the higher Shakti is being invoked, you will find your mind completely relaxing. See, whether you understand what is being said fully or not, one thing you would have experienced, the moment you start listening to these sessions, your mind will get into a state of relaxation. It will calm you. So week after week, when you're exposing yourself to this, the mind will become more and more calm. It will inspire you to do your personal sadhana. And just imagine, when you get firmly established in this wisdom, how much more will this calmness be? Very powerful state. So this is at the mental level. Now, another dimension of nirvana. Nirvana means complete satisfaction. This is at the causal body level. See, you have three bodies. That is, your personality can be broadly divided into three categories. One is called the gross body. Gross body means your physical body and the gross aspect of your prana, the prana vayu sharira, which we saw in the prana tattva level 1 also. And then you have the subtle body. Subtle body is a subtler aspect of the pranic body and your mind, intellect and all that. Sukshma sharira. Sukshma sharira means subtle body. Then you have what is called as a causal body, the bliss sheath, which is the root cause of the subtle body and the gross body, the seed of your personality. So if you're having, let us say, a talent of singing, when you're sleeping, where is that talent? It is there in the seed form. So when you wake up, that seed manifests. Whenever that seed manifests, that person will start singing. If you have a seed of dancing, whenever that seed manifests, you will start dancing. So the seed form of your personality is called the causal body. Now today, the causal body is riddled with a lot of what we call in the yogic language as psychic impressions. So many negative seeds are there. So when in the causal body a lot of negative seeds have been deposited, you will not be satisfied in life. You will not feel complete. You may have so many things. You may have wealth, you may have good relationships, you may have a good name in society. All these things will be there, but still you will feel a lacuna and a sense of emptiness deep within you. Some of the most successful people, when you go and talk to them privately, they always say, in spite of all this success, something is missing. Why is that? Have you ever thought about it? Because of the causal body. When the causal body has too many seeds, what we call as karmas, the negative karmas, they don't allow you to complete your experiences. You don't lead a complete life. So Nirvana means actually cleaning up your causal body, removing all the negative seeds first, and then finally no negative or positive. That becomes crystal clear. That is when you experience a sense of completeness, complete satisfaction, the state of Purnatvam. Purnatvam means wholeness, W-H-O-L-E, wholeness, fullness. So from a causal body level, all your incompleteness is gone. When you attain Brahma Nirvanam, you become a complete person. You experience the ocean of the infinite. You are no longer a finite river. You become one with the infinite ocean. So as a sadhak, you should observe, as you do your sadhana, you will find that satisfaction coming to you in your life. Everything which you do will be done in a very purposeful way. On one hand, you will go on progressing, you will fix goals and you will keep achieving. On the other hand, you will start becoming more and more satisfied in life. The quality of your sleep will improve. See, when a person is dissatisfied, that person will have a restless sleep. As you begin to complete your experiences, you will start sleeping like a baby, You see a baby so happily sleeping. So that is how you will become in life. You will become very, very full and satisfied. And from that state of satisfaction will come out so much of unconditional love, so much of cheer. You cannot be cheerful without being satisfied in life. That infinite happiness will start oozing out. So Brahma Nirvanam, it's the highest level, but from the causal body level, it means complete satisfaction. Another dimension of Nirvana means pleasure, supreme bliss. See, satisfaction and supreme bliss are two sides of the same coin. So the moment you become complete, you will start experiencing supreme bliss from within. And not only you will start generating those vibrations. People around you will also start becoming happy. Whenever a master comes into a situation, everyone starts feeling very fulfilled. There is a story in the Mahabharata where sage Durvasa wanted to visit the Pandavas when they were in the forest for 12 years. And they were going to come for lunch. Yogishri had said okay. And when he went and told Draupadi and she had to prepare the lunch, they found that they didn't have enough ingredients to prepare lunch for all his disciples. That is, Durvasa was going to come with all his disciples, a big group. So they were wondering what to do, because having invited him, it's in our culture, Atiti Devo Bhava, means a guest is like God, we have to take care. And that too, he is a great rishi. And Durvasa was known for giving curses. I told you, rishis. He was one such rishi. If you make a mistake, he'll immediately curse you. It is not a curse. He is using that energy of sternness to remove the effects of the karmas and make it much more easy for you to face those karmas. So these people were wondering what to do. Then Draupadi mentally got connected to Krishna and she said, Krishna, please come and save me. I am in a big soup. So Krishna came there and he said, you don't worry. And he took the vessel, and the vessel just had one rice in that, So he just took the rice, close to the rice, and he ate that rice. And the amazing thing is, the moment he ate that rice, Durvasa and all his disciples, all their hunger vanished. Krishna used his yogic powers to create that effect. Everyone became full, physically, food-wise. So now the pressure turned on to, say, Durvasa. So he and his disciples wondered, now we have accepted their invitation for lunch. Now how will we go there and eat? So the story is that they requested, they prayed to God that please save us now, because we don't feel like eating at all. I'm not going into the full story, but just this aspect of that story. What is the deeper meaning there? Krishna eating that one rice and everybody getting fulfilled. It is a very powerful message. When you become complete, when you become satisfied, your energy will reach out to the whole world. Wherever a master is, everybody else will also start feeling that completeness. So if you want to do service to the world, now attain this Brahma Nirvana. At least move towards that. Start doing your sadhana. Very powerful. One hand complete satisfaction, other hand pleasure, highest pleasure, supreme bliss. That is what you will experience at the causal level. These two aspects. Another dimension, we will take two more dimensions together, because that will give you a powerful sadhana tip. Nirvanam on one hand means cessation or desisting, avoiding. On the other hand, Nirvanam means joining, uniting, seeking. So there is again a contradiction. On one hand, Nirvana means avoiding or desisting. On the other hand, it means uniting or joining. Just as yoga is derived from the Sanskrit word yuj. Yuj means to unite, to join. So from the highest standpoint, yoga and nirvana are one and the same. But on the other hand, nirvana means desisting, avoiding. So what are you to practice? Are you to avoid things, or are you to seek things and join, participate in various affairs of the world? That is the sadhana message. When he talks of desisting, that is from the level of negativities. As a sadhana, you need to practice these two. You always need to put an effort to desist from negativities. And you should always put an effort to join, unite, quote positivity. See, the mind has the tendency to quote negativity and avoid positivity. As a sadhak, you should now reverse the process. If you want to attain the state of Brahma Nirvanam, This is a sadhana which you need to do. All the time if you are quoting negativity, negativity means what? Things which disturb you. It could be something in the news, it could be negative conversations, negative books, negative information. See, always the mind tends to focus on that only. But if you want to become a yogi, you need to develop this habit of locating the positives in every situation and uniting with that, identifying with that. You know, when the India-Pakistan, the partition took place, I actually met a person long back. I'm talking of about 25-30 years back. I met this person who was a multi-billionaire when he was in Pakistan, and overnight he came to India. He lost all his wealth, his whole family. They were multi-billionaires there. Suddenly overnight he was on the streets. But within 5 years he again became a billionaire. Sheer efforts. The wife started, they just had little bit of money to buy something. Wife cooked and he started selling it on the road. Whatever food his wife prepared. He restarted. And within no time, 5 years, he became a billionaire. And there was one thing which he shared, which was very interesting. He said, from one angle, when I think of it, overnight I lost all my wealth and I became a pauper. It looks like a negative incident. But, sir, if I think about it, I'm glad that happened, because that brought out the best from me. Even though I was very rich there, it was more of whatever I had inherited from my father. My talents never surfaced. But when the situation came, the best out of me, the best from within me came out. And I grew as a person. So even in that extreme negative experience, his mind was able to eke out the positive aspect. This is a powerful habit which you need to build if you want to become a yogi. And the more you build this, the more free you will become. The Brahma Nirvana is ultimate freedom. But even otherwise, when your mind develops this habit of desisting and uniting, that is desisting the negative and uniting with the positive, then you will start becoming more and more happy, more and more free. So even during the COVID time, the mind will naturally go towards the COVID virus only. But as a yogi, if you've been doing your sadhana properly, your mind will understand this. Okay, this pandemic is there and all that, but it will look for solutions. And what is the ultimate solution? The ultimate long-term solution is in developing your inner resistance, immunity. So if you focus on that, then the problem gets solved. But your mind will refuse to look at it that way. Your mind will only keep seeing how the virus can attack your immunity. The mind will refuse to see how your immunity can handle the virus. This is how in every situation your mind tends to move away from the positive and it tends to pick up the negative. As a yogi, as a sadhak, now you need to change that pattern. If you want to identify with negative things, there are enough negative things for you to identify with. If you want to identify with positive things, again there are enough positive things to identify with. It all depends on what kind of a habit you have created. If you have not put in any effort, the mind naturally gravitates towards the negative, because the negative things give you an immediate kind of an excitement or pleasure, whereas the positive things take some time to manifest. That is why the mind tends to go towards the negative. So curbing the natural gravitational pull of the negativities, desisting from that and uniting consciously with the positive on a daily basis is a powerful sadhana of Nirvana. You need to practice and perfect this. The sadhana, everyday sadhana. Why am I saying do the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana on a daily basis? Why not on a weekly basis? Or once a month you listen to it? Because on a daily basis the mind tends to gather the negative energy. The mind gets attracted by the various negative things which are happening outside. That is why on a daily basis you need to do sadhana and clean up yourself. Just as you brush your teeth every day, you have a bath every day. This is all at the physical level. Now at the deeper level, at the psychological level, you need to practice this. Once it becomes a habit, that is, once you reverse this habit, once you learn to identify with the positive, you will find it very interesting, because others will also start getting influenced by your positivity. You will not only do good to yourself, but you will start doing good to others also. So that is the powerful dimensions of Nirvana. There are many more dimensions, but I am just giving you a few which will be extremely useful to you in your sadhana. So, Brahma Nirvana means the ultimate liberation. But till you get that ultimate liberation, what do you do? How do you practice the sadhana of Nirvana? Nirvana is actually a state only. But from a sadhana point of view, what is Nirvana? These are the various, some pointers I have given you. At the ego level, it means extinction. So always have a watch. As you're doing your sadhana, your powers will start getting manifested, and that is the time when the ego also can take over. That is why it is said, the advice given by the masters is that never make a show of your powers. As a sadhak, you should never do that, because the ego is always waiting to pounce and trade on whatever spiritual treasures which you gain, That is why actually Guru POORNIMA, the sadhana of Guru POORNIMA is very significant. Every year we are doing that, so that the whatever little bit of ego is there gets pulverized, so that you are always moving in the right path. That is the only work of a guru, if you think about it. Otherwise, the guru has no role. Because you need the Guru Shakti in order to combat the Shakti, the power of the ego within. At the mental level, it means complete calmness. I'm just summarizing the few dimensions and giving you one or two, I'm just emphasizing on one or two aspects of each of these dimensions, so that goes into your system. So how calm are you? if you are doing your sadhana properly, your family members should feel very good. Your influence should start becoming very positive. If your wife and children, or if your husband, or if your spouse and children, if they are having complaints against you and you're claiming I am doing sadhana, now I would say first look into that. You may be still doing your sadhana genuinely, but you are not applying these principles there. That is also an aspect of the sadhana. So you need to look into that. So perfect calmness at the mental level. At the causal level, you will start completing your experiences. The next Yoga Sankirtan, the Mahaganapati Dhyana, that is meant to complete your experiences. When it gets ready and when you get the material, and once you start doing that sadhana and you will start invoking the higher energy within you, that will help you to lead a very fulfilled life. It will help you to complete all your experiences. So total satisfaction. And the other side of that total satisfaction is supreme bliss. One of the yardsticks of spiritual development is this bliss. In the name of spirituality, if you're becoming too serious in life, if you're becoming more morose, then there is something wrong. You are nowhere near spirituality. Actually, Swami Ramatirtha goes to that extent of saying, if you're morose, you're a criminal, he says, spiritual criminal. It is a spiritual crime to be morose, to be depressed. Very powerfully he says that, So when you do your sadhana, you will genuinely start becoming so happy from within. Happy with whatever you're having. And then you will put on all the efforts to progress more and more. You're always in a state of discontentment today, incompleteness. So from the causal level, that will start happening to you. And then the very important sadhana tip, cessation on one hand, that is desisting, avoiding, and on the other hand, uniting. So this wisdom will give you that clarity. What do you need to avoid and what do you need to court in life? See, at every moment in your life, you have a choice. Should I go in this path or should I go in this path? Depending on what choices you make, your life takes that particular turn. So, in a very general way, you always have a choice whether to identify with the negative or whether to identify with the positive. Now, it all depends on you, what you choose. So, if you, through your sadhana, if you train yourself to always choose the positive and avoid the negative, it's a question of time. After a while, you will get established in that. See, the beauty of this sadhana is that once you get established, automatically the mind will start choosing the positive. You will get into the auto mode. In the flight also they put it, autopilot mode they put it, no? It will become like that. Whenever any tough situation comes, immediately the mind will look for solutions. Till you get firmly established, you should go on practicing this. Don't just merely listen here and leave it at that. Why am I asking you to sit for at least 5-10 minutes after the session is over and reflect and then write down those points? Why am I asking you to do that sadhana? So that you see it in the context of your life and you start practicing these things instead of merely listening to it and going away. So when you practice all this, you will start experiencing Nirvana relatively first in your life. And then when you get prepared, the final experience of Brahma Nirvanam will come to you. You cannot jump steps. It's a straight away how to get the ultimate Brahma Nirvanam. First you practice all this. You have to prepare yourself. So even at the end of life, if you get established, means at any point of time when you get established in this, you can attain the ultimate liberation of Brahman. He uses the word attaining, richati. Earlier he had said prapya. In the previous verse, verse number 71, he used the word adhigacchati. Adhigacchati means attaining peace. I did explain that time what is the deeper meaning of adhigamanam and all that. Actually, if you go to verse number 70, he used the word apnoti when he was talking about the ocean and rivers. So different words he uses. The English meaning is same, obtaining, but according to the context, the emphasis is different. So here, when he says richati, the word richati no doubt means attaining, obtaining or attaining. But the emphasis of the word richati is in raising. Richati actually means to raise. So when he is talking of Brahma Nirvanam, he is using the word richati, to raise oneself. So Brahman or the infinite is not an object to be attained, to be obtained. It is not a finite state which you can attain. It is the infinite. So how do you attain that infinite? It is by raising yourself. Raising yourself means raising your consciousness. There are no different paths in spirituality actually. There is only one path, that is the Sankhya Yoga, the principle. Sankhya Yoga is a principle. And what is the essence of Sankhya Yoga? Sankhya Yoga means raising one's consciousness. Today your consciousness is limited, is bound by the finite equipments. Expanding your consciousness and raising your consciousness is true spirituality. Now you may employ many methods to raise your consciousness. Karma Yoga is one way of raising your consciousness. Bhakti Yoga is another way of raising your consciousness. Jnana Yoga is another way of raising your consciousness. Different ways may be there to raise one's consciousness, but it is raising the consciousness which is true spirituality. Without that, if you merely do karma, that is no longer Karma Yoga. Or if you merely get involved in bhakti, no use. Or if you get involved in jnana, you will only become an intellectual, but you will not become spiritual. That is why in one of the later verses, Krishna says, don't be a mere karmi or a bhakta or a jnani, he says. Be a yogi. Yogi Bhavarjuna means be a yogi, Arjuna, he says. What is the meaning of that? He says if you merely get involved in action or devotion or knowledge, you will get stuck there. A yogi is one who uses the sadhana to raise his or her consciousness. So always be a yogi. When he says yogi Bhavarjuna, it's a message to entire humanity. The Yoga Sankirtan is a direct way of raising one's consciousness. And it made, so much of help has been given by creating that material. All you need to do is just play that material, and if you learn to surrender, go with the flow of the energy, you will find day by day your consciousness will start rising. It will automatically be pulled up. So that is why he is using the word richati when it comes to Brahma Nirvanam. It is not like going and buying some object from a shop, or you can't give some money and you can get an object externally. But you can't do that with respect to the infinite. That's why in the Upanishads they say, na karmana na prajaya dhanena, means this cannot come merely through karma, na karmana na prajaya dhanena, not by birth. I am born to a saint, therefore I have better chances of becoming Sita Prajna. There is nothing like that. You may be born anywhere. Na dhanena. You may acquire a lot of external wealth, but that is not going to fetch you Brahma Nirvanam. What will fetch you? It is the raising of your consciousness. And in order to raise your consciousness, what will help you is surrendering to the Guru Shakti. See, that's why I told you, we are very fortunate that just before the Guru Purnima, we are studying the Sankhya Yoga, and we are doing the final 2 verses of the Sankhya Yoga, which contains the essence of spirituality. So by yourself to raise your consciousness is very difficult. You need to be at a very, very advanced level. The greatest of masters had a guru. Why? Because it is extremely difficult. You have to be at a very advanced level to raise the consciousness by yourself. Otherwise, so many distractions that will come and pull you down. That is where the Guru Shakti can help us. Next week, we are going to have the deeper yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima. This is the best preparation, What for are we having that sadhana of Guru Purnima? Guru Purnima is not a mere external celebration. Today, everything has become very superficial, Guru Purnima is it's not merely that day, it's an entire month. It's very conducive for you to get attuned to the Guru Shakti outside and within you, and using that to raise your consciousness. That is the true celebration, if we want to use the word celebration or true sadhana of Guru Purnima. It's not restricted to merely saying namaste or pranams to the external guru and stopping with that. It is not merely that. The true Guru Dakshina which you can give to your Guru is by getting attuned to the Guru Shakti. Guru Shakti is not restricted to any one personality. The external Guru helps you to get attuned to the Guru Shakti. So the true Guru Dakshina repayment or offering which you as a student can do is in getting attuned to the Guru Shakti and raising your consciousness. Richati. And when you raise your consciousness, you attain the state of Brahma Nirvana. So having got established in this, even at the end of life, Antakale api Brahma Nirvanam Richati. He raises himself and deserves, qualifies, right royally, he attains the infinite. No begging here. In spirituality, there is no beggary. You get what you deserve. So how do you get into a state of deserving the highest? It is by richati, by raising one's consciousness. Every day do your sadhana. Every year when the Guru Poornima yogic sadhana is being revealed to you, so you're all very fortunate. The deeper aspect of the Guru Poornima is being revealed to you. So don't come and ask for any special blessings. There is nothing like that. First of all, no Guru has the power to bless. It is only God who can bless. Guru only connects to that infinite God principle, and the blessings are always there. You have to surrender to the Guru Shakti. You have to do your sadhana and you utilize it to raise your consciousness. Then automatically you will receive all the infinite blessings. The richati is no doubt attaining, but the sadhana message is there. That is to raise your consciousness. Keep that as your focus. This is the preparation. In today's meditation, we will do the nididhyasana to absorb this principle of richati. That will be a powerful preparation for next week's Guru Poornima intense sadhana. A lot of blessings are going to happen. The higher Shakti is going to be invoked. So much of healing will happen. But as far as we are concerned, the real healing is healing of the karmas and raising of the consciousness. That is the true purpose of having the intensive Guru Poornima program. Other benefits anyway you're going to get. If you have some financial problems, that may get solved. If so many things, so many good things may happen. But don't be satisfied with all that. That is all at the LKG level. What really, the real wealth which is being given to you is this principle of richati. The tools and the help which is being given to raise your consciousness. Don't miss that. Okay, so with that we have completed chapter 2, the Sankhya Yoga. Of course, there is nothing like completion. So what we'll do is we'll read the final portion of this chapter. Every chapter in the end, Vyasa has summarized it and said, this is what we have studied. So, Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sankhya Yogo Nama Dvitiyo Dhyayah. The meaning of this chant is Om, that is reality. I'm not going to get into the deeper meaning, then again that will go for weeks. So Om, that is reality. Thus, in the glorious Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the holy knowledge, the yogic science, Yoga Shastra means the yogic science, the dialogue between Shri Krishna and Arjuna, Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. So in knowledge there is always a give and take. There is an interaction. The second chapter called Yoga of Sankhya. Sankhya Yogo Nama Dvitiyo Dhyayah. Adhyayah means chapter. So we have studied that. So in the yogic practice, whenever we complete a chapter, we don't want the ego to immediately take over. Oh, I have finished chapter 2 and I'm going to chapter 3. So in order to curb the ego, our masters have given a very powerful practice in the yogic approach, and that is whenever we complete a chapter, we immediately chant the first verse of the chapter, just to give the psychological blow to the ego, the psychological message to the mind that I have not completed anything, I have only started. So with that spirit that we have just now begun our journey, together we will chant the first verse of this chapter. All of you also can chant along with me. Sanjaya uvacha tam tatha kripayavishtam ashrupornakulekshanam vishidantamidam vakyam uvacha madhusudanah. So thus have we completed, strike off that word completed, and have we started chapter 2, the great path of Sankhya. Now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper within myself. I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this intellect. I am that Supreme Self. I surrender to the higher Shakti. I surrender to the Guru Shakti. From this moment onwards, I choose to do my sadhana diligently and go on raising my consciousness. My ultimate purpose is to merge with that infinite consciousness. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. Very, very deep and powerful experience. I've also prepared you for receiving the blast of energy next week. So next Sunday we are going to do the intensive higher yogic sadhana of Guru Poornima, which is getting attuned to the Guru Shakti in a powerful way. Once you get attuned to the Guru Shakti, that Shakti will guide you forever in your path. Sometimes the Shakti will guide you from outside, sometimes the Shakti will guide you from inside. So Guru Poornima is a time where you can easily attune to the Guru Shakti, provided you do the right sadhana. So do your daily sadhana this week, especially this week, because a very powerful energy has been given to you now. So when you do your sadhana every day, you will get more and more prepared. And then when you come back on Sunday, you'll be able to experience a tremendous blast of the higher energy. Whatever goals you want to achieve, you just write down, become very clear. Because when a blast of this higher energy is given, sometimes all the blocks can be pulverized at one go, Okay, so we'll meet next week for the Guru Purnima session, and then the week after that we'll be starting the chapter 3. So thank you very much. Hari Om.